everyone. Welcome to the Seeds of Success podcast, hosted by Dottie San Martin and myself, Orly Rivera. This show is your weekly dose of knowledge, insights, and actionable tips to transform centers into striking successes. Whether you're a seasoned industry professional or just stepping onto the lanes, we've got you covered. So, Dottie, I want to talk about today something that might be some people's biggest fear. It's not mine because I'm excellent in customer service, one of the best I've ever seen.
Oh, come on now. It's getting deep in here.
But I want to talk about reviews, whether that's a Google review or Yelp review. You know, I don't want to say they can make or break you, but they could go really well or they could go really bad. And sometimes not necessarily because you did something wrong. Sometimes there's just going to be those people that want to leave something mean because they didn't like something you had. Doesn't mean you did something wrong. So I think there's a lot to cover when it comes to reviews.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, it also not only can, you get a bad review, they're going to happen, right? Be it justified or not justified, but you can make it even worse by the way you respond or don't respond.
Yeah.
So I think, talking about that, getting it out there is definitely a good topic. So, I like this topic. So I'm ready to go.
Yeah. And I think just in general, if you are wanting people to leave reviews, which you should, because you could gain from them, you could learn things about your center. Maybe you're not there very often. You're the owner and you keep seeing a review about, hey, the young girl with the glasses at the front counter is very rude. She always makes us wait a long time. You might be like, oh, wow, I thought Sarah was a great employee. Here we're getting multiple reviews. Maybe we should talk to her. Or somebody might say, man, I really wish this place had pizza and you don't carry pizza. Like you could learn from that, good and bad. So if you do want people leaving reviews, like you should, make sure you're also displaying it somewhere, whether it's something where they could scan, maybe a QR code or even a little sign that says, make sure to give us a Google review. I think sometimes you could even get a sticker for your door. I've seen that says, find us on Google reviews or something along those lines. And I mean, you want to try to make it look nice too. I went into a restaurant the other day and I saw up by the register was like all this tape, a paper that looks like it's been taped multiple times, which I'm sure you would. Yeah. I was going to say, I'm sure you wouldn't like that. It was like tape all over and didn't even say Google, Google review. I was like, what is this? Me being curious. I just take the, QR code and I scan it and it was like to the review page. And I'm thinking, okay, you might want to make it a little nicer. So even displaying it is something important, I think.
Yes, I agree with that. But, as I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, you need to make sure if you are going to encourage people to review your facility, that you are either yourself monitoring it or you have a dedicated person to monitor it. Because what you don't want to happen, number one, if you get positive reviews, you want to acknowledge those and thank them for them, right? Yeah. But if you get negative reviews, you also need to be proactive in that. To be honest, negative reviews aren't always bad because negative reviews, sometimes if you didn't get that review, you may not really know that happened or that that's going on or were aware of it at all. So if you take that information that was submitted in the review and you are able to grow and learn from it and use that as a teaching opportunity for your staff, then that's valuable to you. And you should be making sure that you are thanking that person for that review because they're helping you grow your business. They're helping you provide a better service to your customers. And that is valuable.
Yeah. When I was running the center, you'd get so many good reviews. And one thing I think you have to keep in mind is if you do get a bad review, don't let it ruin your day, your week, your month. Some people I've seen online post like, oh my gosh, we got this bad review. How do we get it taken down? And, Google doesn't want to take it down right now. I think if anything, you reply to it in a nice way, whether it was something you did or didn't do, acknowledge them. Hey, we're sorry this happened. If it was something that happened and if it didn't, I mean, in a nice way. Oh, we spoke to our associate. Maybe there was some type of misunderstanding. Feel free to come in. We'll talk about or something along those lines. Because I've seen people also attack the person and that's just a bad look on you. It might be in the moment where you feel the reason to snap back at them, but that's never a good look. I think you just got to keep it professional. Sometimes, what do they say? Kill them with kindness if somebody's just being rude. Because there's going to be people in there that say, I saw a funny one the other day on Facebook or something, and it said, this was so gross, or the food was cold and this and this. And the owner got on there and was like, well, this is interesting. We haven't served food for 5 years. So we apologize that you have this experience, because you never know. It could be the wrong place. It could be the wrong place. It could be somebody just going on there and being a jerk. You never know. But yeah, I think you take those and you do something with them. So yeah. And like you said, make sure you're checking them, because there could be a bad review. It's been there for a couple weeks. And if you're not checking it, and it doesn't even have to do with your place, or it was something you got resolved, people are still going to read that. So you got to make sure that you're keeping up with those.
Right. And even if you know that it's a disgruntled guest, you still need to approach it, because remember, you have other people looking at those reviews and they're watching to see how you're going to respond to it. So if you don't want to respond to it publicly with your reply, then, let them know that you will reach out to them. You would like to discuss the situation personally, and show that genuine desire to hear them. Because a lot of times when they write negative reviews, they're wanting somebody to listen to their side. So if you're not comfortable, making that public, then you can always, try to take it offline and reach out to them personally and hear their situation and handle it. Let them know how you plan to handle that situation.
Yeah. And I think, and when it comes to reviews, everybody's a little different. I used to not read the reviews, or I would read, not my personally, but like I would read some from a restaurant and be like, there's some people saying stuff, but let's give it a try anyways. And I've been to places where I was like, oh, it was actually really good. I don't know what these people were thinking. And then, but nowadays, kind of with Amazon and stuff, I tend to look at the reviews. Like you see things that say, it's been returned quite often, it's returned back quite often. You're like, I don't want to, because sometimes you don't want to take that risk, especially if you're buying something that's being sent to you and it's going to take a couple days to get to you, and then you'd have to send it back. Restaurants are a little different. You're just going in, popping in. If it's good, it's good. You leave and you're good. But so, yeah, I think reviews are very important for the owner and customers to read.
Yes. And reviews are a part of, people look at those reviews and they base their decision a lot of times on whether they're going to that facility based on a review, or, other content that someone has posted on social media. It doesn't necessarily have to be review, but that user generated content, or if you've heard it referred to as UGC, that is extremely valuable for centers and businesses, because most especially our younger generation, that's what they rely on. They don't necessarily respond to advertising like, print advertising or professional, messaging that's put together and orchestrated. They respond and act when they see that, somebody else has gone to this facility and they said, oh, this was fun. I had a good time. The bartender's really nice. That's what moves them to act now.
Yeah.
Versus something that's, an ad in the newspaper or a radio commercial.
Yeah. And I think making sure you're sharing those great reviews. If someone was like, this is the best burger I've had in months, share that on, let's say somebody's going to order in your kiosk, use that as a little monitor, a little advertisement on there. So they're reading best burgers around before they click and start ordering something, or on your monitors or on your Neoverse wall, or even on t-shirts. Have fun with it. If there's a awesome review by Sherry, wear it on a shirt and have fun with it. Somebody comes in, if they're like, oh, we've never been here before, we heard it's fun though. Oh yeah. Have you not seen my shirt? Sherry says it's the greatest place she's been to in years. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different things you could do when it comes to the advertisement.
Yeah, you are so right, Orly. And, as I said earlier, user-generated content, out of the words of your customers, is so believable. And they can make it, they're reliving their memory. They're reliving what fun they had at your center. And now it's so easy. Like you said, asking for reviews, you can have them scan a QR code and review your center. Now, even like the Cubica AMF newer scoring Best NV has a way for the guests to actually go to social media and leave their bowling memories for their friends to see,
Oh,
right?
cool. Yeah.
So it's automatic. It's prompting them because we know that people love to share what they're doing and their experience with others. And it's great, great, great advertising. Reviews are great advertising for you. Leverage them, make the most of them.
Yeah. Even on podcast. So feel free to come give us 5 stars or leave a review. I think they could do that too, right? On Apple or Spotify or anywhere. Feel free. You could even type in there, due to Orly, 5 stars across the board, and Dottie, but feel free. I'll take all those compliments.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that does bring up a good subject, Orly. We would love you guys to hear from y'all. If there's topics, we love to see what's trending. We love to see and talk about things that we know will help your business grow for years to come. But if there's topics that you're curious about or you would like for us to cover, don't be afraid to reach out. Leave us a comment. We would love to provide whatever content you're looking for. So, well, listeners, thanks so much for planting these seeds of success with us today. Remember, every great achievement starts with a single seed of knowledge. Until next time, keep growing.